Hi cuties, how are you? It is Friday and it's January 10th. I think it's the 10th. I should really look these things up before I start these videos. Let me just check down here. Yes, the 10th. And I'm just checking in very quickly. I'm going to do one pass and done at this one because I have a cold and I'm feeling very sorry for myself and a sprained knee that I thought was getting better, but it was actually just the ibuprofen. So suffice it to say, that whole pile up in Capricorn and the Pluto Saturn conjunction are happening in my sixth house, which is the house of health. So I am learning about the ways in which I've not taken care of my body this past year, and then the ways that I have to be careful with my body in the upcoming year. And it's all very apropos, seeing as Capricorn rules bones and joints and skin and all that stuff, but bones especially, and my joints. So I had promised a video about Capricorn, so I'm just going to say a few things about the beautiful Capricorns that you all know and love, and that you are. Capricorn is an earth sign. It's the final earth sign of the three, because there's three of each element. So earth starts with Taurus, then it goes to Virgo, and the final earth sign is Capricorn. It's the 10th sign of the zodiac, so we're getting near to the end of the wheel. The next two signs are Aquarius and Pisces. Capricorns, they're the little sure-footed mountain goats, and their motto is "I use," which people say a lot of times. Capricorns are kind of like ladder climbers, and they do get accused of being users for social jockeying position. This has not, absolutely not been my experience of Capricorns, but they are smart about resources. I do find that. And they are picky about the friends that they do choose. So you should feel very honored if a Capricorn chooses you as their friend, because in my experience, typically Capricorns keep a small circle of friends and they treat them like gold. So yeah, I don't actually, when I was looking at my Facebook groupings of friends, I don't have a lot of Capricorns, and yet there were 3 Capricorns in my wedding party, including the most important one, who is my sister Stacy. And those 3 Capricorns could not be any more different from one another, although Renee and Julie were born one day apart. But it really is a great indicator of like, what is your moon sign and how does that influence who you are? Because my sister Stacy has a watery moon. She's Pisces, and she very much is of the kind of like Piscean waters. And even though she's the hardworking, typical Capricorn, and she has a little touch of that OCD that every Capricorn kind of has, because they are highly organizational. They say that about Virgos, and I know a lot of Virgos are like, but I'm really not. But there's always like order to their chaos. With Capricorns, you really see an organizational system. They love spreadsheets. They love being highly detailed. They love having plans. If you get an atypical Capricorn who's not doing that, usually there's something kind of going on with them, because Capricorns, it's their birthright to have that kind of high level of systemization and a way of approaching things that's almost like a triage. They're very responsible. They start off in the world like little old people, and they can very often see what needs to get done and the most efficient way to do it. So if a Capricorn is not operating in kind of that way, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. I'm just saying probably something happened to them that kind of like got them down a different path, because Capricorns have to be very, very careful about trying to turn off their heads and basically deconnect wires, because sometimes they get tired of being overly responsible. They get tired of seeing what needs to get done. They get tired of all the responsibility that gets heaped on their shoulders. So they just decide to get like drunk or high, or just kind of like give up in a very kind of like grandiose way, because they can really get overwhelmed by the responsibilities in the world. It can just, to them, feel like a crushing weight, and sometimes they're just like, fuck it, I'm not doing it anymore, which is very sad when a Capricorn gets that way, because the best way for them to get out from under that rock is by getting systemized and getting structured and taking responsibility, because it's kind of the thing that they have to do in the world. They just have to find a way to enjoy it. They have to find a way to enjoy their work, because it is in their very nature to work hard. And if they're not, then really they're essentially not very happy. Um, so yeah, Capricorns, they give great gifts. They are natural heroes and heroines. I always say that. Every Capricorn I know is able to keep their head pretty cool in times of like major like cluster fuckery, when everything kind of like the ship goes down, or the chef catches fire in the kitchen, or something major happens. They make really great generals and politicians and CEOs, people who are in great positions of authority. It doesn't mean that they don't get nervous and they don't like crap their pants just like the rest of us. It just means that they can keep very cool-headed in the face of drama, and know how to prioritize proper action. I think that's all I'm going to say about Capricorn right now. Earthy, it's a cardinal sign. They are natural leaders. They don't always like leading. They tend to be very shy, reserved people, but they do very well in leadership positions. Good orators, a lot of the world's most famous politicians. And not to say that you're all just like political and taking responsibility and stuff. I mean, Elvis Presley was a Capricorn. I could name like a host of Capricorns. Look up famous Capricorns and you'll find it all these crazy dynamic performers who are Capricorns. And incredibly creative works of art kind of people. But I think I hit on a good amount of the highlights. That's all for now. I'll see you guys next week. I'll be over my cold by then and maybe not feeling quite so sorry for myself. Enjoy the full moon tonight, and yeah, it's a big weekend. We're coming up to January 12th, which is the peak of everything's been happening in 2019. I talked about it a bit last week. But be easy on yourself, and pay attention to what's going on around you and within you and all that good stuff, and kind of make a game plan for the year. This is a great weekend to do that. Okay, talk soon. Bye.